November 11th, 1790, Boone County, Kentucky, I was born. My dad was out fetching water from the well while my mom was lying on the dusty planked floor screaming and crying. I hadn't even opened my eyes for the first time when my daddy came into the house, set the pail next to my mom, and took me in his arms. Right then and there, he set my future. "Uriah, my son, you better turn out to be a great farmer just like your old pop. You'll help me chase away those panthers. I can't have them eating my crops, now can I?" By 1818, I had found the love of my life, Susan Rice, and wed her in my town church. By then, it was real hard to find farming land in Boone County, Kentucky, my hometown. See, some colonels of the 9 sections had land claims, essentially claiming land to the government. Now that we had 2 children and 1 on the way, Susan and I figured it was time to move on and find land. We packed our wagon in late winter and started our journey. We wanted to make sure to leave Kentucky and arrive in Missouri in enough time before the next winter arrived. Fortunately, we all made it to Missouri just before the new winter. Though we smelt bad and my suit was worn through and the mothball scent of my soap had dissipated. It was quite easy to purchase land here in Centerville, Missouri, for the only requirements were thus: either be the head of the household and or be over 21 years of age. I was both. We settled into our home in Clay County, and I bought the south half portion of land in the southeastern portion of Centerville along with a couple slaves to help farm the land. There were very few folks in my new homestead of Centerville. My family was in fact one of the first. This made it pretty easy to make profits off my farm, for my vegetables helped supply the town supermarket, and my family benefited from this quite a lot. For only a couple years later, my family was one of the richest in Clay County, along with multiple others who moved here soon after I. We were very lucky to reel in and farm this big profitable land, for it would benefit my family farther down the line. One great evening, the Centerville Town Council called all profitable folk to the Mount Olive Baptist Church to help configure a sort to improve our plain town. I was one of them. I contributed a large sum of money to the town, hoping that the upbuilding of it would help my family profit even more. By then, my wife and I had 10 more children. I had a total of 10 girls and 3 boys by the 20th of March, 1846. By the early 1860s, a civil war broke out in my country. See, my family was on the side of the Union, being we came from Kentucky and all. Susan and I were nervous for our children, knowing that at any point our sons could be drafted and our daughters could be sent to the battlefield to tend to wounded soldiers. However, I was most afraid for my son William, or WR as we called him. See, he owned a store on Centerville Square, and I was afraid it would be raided by members of the Confederates. We've had more raids than usual lately. Only a couple weeks into the war, sure enough, it burned down. To help WR get back on his feet, I sold my land to him. I was getting too old to farm it for myself anyhow. Before I knew it, WR built a house on the land alongside one of my many son-in-laws, a Pence. They were the first families to live on this land. I am glad that my family was a key reason for the expansion of Centerville, or Kearney as it is called now. I died on December 9th, 1878 of old age and longing for my wife, who had died 5 years earlier of late-set childbirth complications. My legend will be carried on throughout Kearney as it grows and thrives off my family's great achievements and investments.